Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. We've had a couple of new subscribers recently, so welcome to the neighborhood. Hang around and have fun. I burned 4 mythic rares to get copies of Vivi. Arena has not been giving me a single one. I felt that was unfair. Everybody's convinced that they're going to ban Vivi in November, and they actually moved it up. They moved up the ban window by 2 weeks, I think it was. This may be a problem. They can keep returning that from the graveyard. Well, the good news is they're out of ammo, so they can't bring it back this particular turn, but they already got some card draw. Let's go ahead and we'll go for broke. We'll bring Vivi out now. I felt kind of deprived. Usually, because I'm a free-to-play account, it takes me a long time to build up and accumulate the newer expansions. If I do this, Vivi's going to go up by 1, right? And I can get rid of an extra Vivi and just do a little bit of damage to Sephiroth. And Vivi stays around. Still in the game. Never mind. You just have another one, huh? That's fine. Now we're getting to the real point of the deck. Oh, never mind. They quit. All right. The point of the deck is hit Hitotsugo's second Rite. But I did craft 4 copies of Vivi for a reason. So let's go right into the deck tech, and we'll explain. This is another entry in the Kaizen Evil playlist. It's one of my longer running playlists. Those who have been around for a while know exactly what it is. But let's go through it real quick just because we do have some new people that are joining us. The name of the deck is Vivi's New Rite. And what the Kaizen Evil playlist is, it's based on the Japanese concept of self-improvement, just improving by 1% a day. I applied it to Magic the Gathering by starting at the most bottom rung that you could think of in terms of deck construction, taking the most evil concepts, the most detested Magic strategies, and making decks out of them. And we're going a little bit more towards the side of light, a little bit more towards good each time. So we started off, the original deck was a deck that would sacrifice baby animals, and that was as evil as I could find in Magic. I thought that was bad enough. We've done some of the more traditional things that people tend to detest playing against: poison, pure meal, pure discard, pure counter spells. We've done all that. We're kind of ascended to another rung, a lighter rung, and trying to get less evil as we go. But we're kind of in this theme area of the evil that the designers and developers within the company do. And that plays into 2 themes that kind of overlap almost in here. One is the idea of being overpowered, of them pushing the envelope when they shouldn't. And that made me think of Vivi. So I made 4 copies of that. And because I wanted to play with this card, Hitotsugo's second Rite, if a target player has exactly 10 life, Hitotsugo's second Rite deals 10 damage to that player. This is kind of reminiscent of the evil of poison, because you don't need to worry about a 20-point life total anymore. You really just need to worry about the first 10. And that's kind of what poison did, right? If they got 10 points of damage and they got a poison counter each time, then you were dead. The magic number just turns into 10. It's slightly different with poison because maybe they don't do 10 separate attacks, but they still get the 10 poison counters on you. I did have a deck where I had no creatures, and the poison would be delivered all by sorceries and instants. And we're changing the nature of the game so that the opponent doesn't even know about it, because this is going to be a surprise. But we're not playing to hit each other for 20 anymore. I'm only playing for half that. And that's a little bit reminiscent of the evil of poison, I think. So Vivi, I'm not sure needs an introduction, but Arena wasn't giving it to me, and I'm a free-to-play account, and I really couldn't wait around anymore. If they were going to ban it, I actually wanted to have fun with an overpowered card for a change. I lose half the time to Vivi decks. I'm not sure if it's the biggest problem that everybody makes it out to be, but the initial read of it, this is an overpowered card. Mostly because of this 0 casting cost in the very beginning of the text. So you got a 0/3 legendary wizard. You had X mana in any combination of blue and or red, where X happens to be Vivi's power. You can only activate it once during your turn. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets a +1/+1 counter and deals 1 damage to each opponent. Now, what I got this in here for is if I need to, say my opponent's at 11, if I have Vivi on the battlefield and I cast Hidetsugu Second Right, the casting of that is going to have Vivi do 1 point of damage. That'll put them at the exact 10 I need. So if I've got a Vivi on the field with my win condition, actually I just need to get them down to 11. The rest of this is all sort of built towards getting them to that 10. So what do we got? We got a Spell Pierce, early removal, 3 Bolt Waves to do direct damage to the opponent's face, 4 of the Burst Lightnings. If we last long enough in the game and we can pay the kicker cost, we can spend 5 and deal 4 damage. And I've won by doing 4 damage to the face to take out the last 4 points of damage because the initial win condition didn't work. Hired Claw is great. I've got 4 copies. You get it in your opening hand a lot. You bring it right down. It deals 1 damage right when you attack. So if I'm used to my opponents blocking me and they're at 11 points, I can just swing in and attack, not worrying that this is going to die because it did its job. This is 1 damage to begin with, and then to them. Sometimes the opponent will block this when it's a 1/2. They'll block it with a 2/2, not realizing that we've already done the damage and met the condition. So if we have 2 open mana, put a +1/+1 counter on it, turn it into a 2/3, and it survives, and they lose their creature. It happens quite a bit still. 2 shocks that just do 2 damage to any target. 1 copy of Consult the Star Charts. I'm usually trying to save this for the kicker cost, so I can spend 4 mana, look at the top 4 cards of my library, and get 2 of the cards in the hand instead of just 1. You get 2 from the kicker cost. 1 Lightning Strike to deal 3 damage to any target. 3 Stock Ups. This is probably one of the most used cards to dig through your deck now. Look at the top 5. You get to put 2 of them and keep them in your hand. Because it's so important that we get them to 10 and not let them climb back up, I have 3 giant Cinder Moths where players can't gain life, and I burned 2 more mythic rare wild cards to get 4 total of Screaming Nemesis from Duskworn. If this creature's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any other target. If a player's dealt damage, they can't gain life for the rest of the game. And we've had a fun experience with going up against a lot more life gain than we used to since we started playing this deck. We also have Ill-Timed Explosion. You can draw 2 cards. If we discard 2 cards, then it does X damage to each creature, where X is the greatest mana value among cards discarded this way. So our highest value is 4, so we can't really take out creatures that are more than 4, but sometimes we need to clear the field. We've got 4 Eroded Canyons to deal 1 damage to target opponent is 2. We'll try and be very careful when we use those, and 1 Demolition Field to take care of their special. That is the deck, Vivi's new Rite. I'm not sure that Vivi is necessary for the Rite card. It's more just a coincidence of timing that I think I should enjoy Vivi while it's here. But I have like 3 or 4 different deck ideas that occurred to me for Hidetsugu Second Right. I don't think you need Vivi. Even if you make it a red and blue Izzet deck again, I'm not sure that you really need Vivi in this deck. But we're going to use it because it's part of the Kaizen Evil playlist, and we're still kind of evil. And, you know, in the old days, Wizards would not have been allowed to put out the Vivi card into Standard. It would have been recognized that it breaks the game. It would have been not allowed to have a 0 activation cost. Let's try. Counter spells or no? Oh, life is good. At least 3 colors played by the opponent. Now, one of the things that could be difficult is this card. Oh, they gain life with Lightning Helix? Well, that's the last time they gain life from Lightning Helix. If they want to avoid the second Rite card, which I just drew, they can pay 1 life here when they're at 10 and add 1 mana. They'll go down to 9 but not be knocked out of the game. So this card is very commonly used now, and it makes my life a little bit more difficult with this deck. To the point that maybe I'm considering putting a second Demolition land in among my lands. Planeswalker.
But now I must always plan ahead.
What do we got? Exile a non-land card. Oh, they're just going to kill Vivi now. Okay. Okay, fine. Does this do only creatures? Yeah. I was afraid of that. Probably shouldn't have done that, but let's get rid of the Planeswalker. I think there was a chance I could have just shocked him twice and then won with the second Rite already. So I need to be more careful with the lands that deal 1 damage. Now I just need to figure out how to do 3 damage before I get killed. Really? Let's see what else we can get here. Let's discard this and we'll just kill this to start with. I've got a little bit of time now. And since we have Burst Lightning, we really just need 1 more point of damage from anywhere. And they got their Planeswalker back. Oh, they did a point of damage for that. They don't know how much that helps me. Okay, we just won. So easy. This is a surprise card, right? If you don't have a way to look at your opponent's hand, they probably don't know that you have it. It's not used on Arena a lot, so it's usually a rude surprise when it happens to you. I usually find out about it when I'm on the receiving end. I've probably been beaten by that card 2 or 3 times in the last few months. And that makes it kind of unique in the evilness of Magic the Gathering, right? Because a lot of other cards you can see coming. A lot of strategies are well known to us. I may be doing things. Look at it's already taken over 30 seconds for them to find another opponent for us. It's really stretching to find something that it thinks can handle us. I don't know if that's because of Hitotsugo's second Rite or because we have 4 copies of Vivi in there. I can't remember the last time I had to wait this long. It's going to automatically put us into a or something, isn't it? Oh, that went to the full minute mark. We're up against Soul Shakedown, the Brilliant. All right, we get to go first. Kind of surprised at that. But we'll take it. Having 2 hard claws in the opening hand is really a good start. Because even if they have instant removal, we might still have a chance to get some damage in early on. Look at that freeze. That took a long time. Okay, it's black. Let's see what kind of removal they're going to have. Evidently, they don't have single mana removal. Really? You gonna put up with that? How about another one? Now, because we have 2 on the field, each one does damage, even though only one of the lizards is attacking. Because that's the rules on the text of the card when you attack with 1 or more lizards. So the one lizard attacks and does the damage. The other lizard sees the one lizard attacking and still triggers that damage ability. Let's see. What do we want to do against that? I feel like I want to go look for my win condition. Ugh. None of those are my win condition. They're letting me attack? Oh, phew. I was going to say. Oh, shoot. They went... I forgot. I forgot. He only had 1 blocker. Alright. I'm really low now. Go get an island. How do I want to do this? I can pay the kicker cost. We'll just get rid of it for now. They gain some life back. They gain life equal to the creature's toughness. So I have a chance again if I can get to the right card. Uh-oh. I really need to make sure that they can't gain any life. Oh, seriously? X is the greatest value, so we're going to discard those 2. Deal 3 points of damage to everybody. And then I can still get rid of this with my Burst Lightning. I really need a card that stops them from gaining life. Look at how many cards they still have in their hand. How did they... We went through all those cards. There's another you gain life thing. By the other player. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did I say good king? Arena wanted did it? It put me up against a life gain deck, but it gave me the win condition at just the exact right time. Was I supposed to lose that, or was I supposed to win that? That is phenomenal timing. Do I even have a... Yeah, I have 1 copy of Coral Sword already. This is a Final Fantasy card. Kind of meant to use this as a defense, surprise defense attack to take out a creature. Give him +1 in first strike. Flash it in on the opponent's turn. I am starting to suspect with this deck that I have become a tool of the machine. And by that I mean there are a lot of decks that by all rights it looks like they should be winning. And they develop an infrastructure with enchantments and artifacts or a massive army, and it looks like they're just about to crush you. And then I take them out with 1 spell. And I wonder, when things like that happen, where I get just the 1 card I need at just the right moment, I've been encountering that a lot with this deck. And I wonder if I've somehow taken the place of the equalizer for the engine that drives behind Arena's attempt to keep everybody at 50% win-loss ratio. Haste and ward. Okay. So we want to take out anything before they get equipped, right? That's a 0-4. Never mind. We already can't take it out. And that doesn't have defender, right? So they'll be able to attack with it. There'll be a 1-5, which my Cindermaw still can't take out by itself. And at max speed, they draw 2 cards. So very important to try and stop that kind of advantage. Let's put out a blocker. At 3 already. They could have increased their strength. All right, we've got enough lands. We have our win condition. We need to get them down by 9 points. We have 2 spells, so even if blue has 1 counterspell ready, we should be able to take it out. They let that go. It looked like they had something though, didn't it? A stock up, all right. Let's see. 3 damage there. Attack for 4. Two damage there. If they have a counterspell, we're going to have a problem. But hopefully, since they can't gain life, hopefully they spend energy tackling the threat that is the Cindermaw, because would they really attack for double draw when they know that I could swing in with Cindermaw? They kept 3 lands open. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Okay. Perfect. If you're having trouble getting your 15 wins in for the day, this, because you're only aiming for half of their health, sometimes the battles take half as much time. And some people actually, they scoop as soon as they see Vivi. Is it Vivi or Vivi? I think it's Vivi. I was in college during most of the Final Fantasy early days, so I haven't played the game actually ever. Had a number of friends that swore by it, poured many years of their life into that particular game. I think I had to make a choice. When I got into college, I actually played Paper Magic. So Magic the Gathering was where I put my time, not Final Fantasy. I had to pick and choose. I couldn't do everything involving pop culture. Just a couple of things here and there. Trigger. Activate the ability from the trigger. Gloom Lake Verge, so blue and black. Remove that, perfect. We're okay with that. Why? Because here comes Screaming Nemesis. 3 more damage. Just need 1 land and our win condition card. There's our win condition card. We need Vivi in a 4th land, and we need Vivi to survive 1 turn. Look at how much removal they have. There's we go. Okay. Activate Vivi. Stay alive 1 turn. No. Look at that. I'm going to let it happen. I want to find a way to do 1 point of damage to them. 1 point of damage. Why not? We've got the ability to do 2 damage to anything that comes down. Perfect. I'm not sure if you're keeping track, but we haven't lost yet. This is my dirty little secret. I've had this deck for a little bit now. This deck and one other one I've been taking into ranked. Because I had forgotten. I've been so busy just making decks, just tinkering around with the deck creator, at least 1 deck a week. 1 new, fresh, original concept. I had ignored ranked for so long, they started me off at the bottom again at bronze. And I had to kick myself because I'm like, if you get higher up in ranked, they do give you more packs. You can build your collection. You shouldn't ignore ranked. I tended to ignore ranked for the longest time because I always get severely punished as soon as I enter it. Immediately getting land starved, either not drawing a land after your first 2 lands, or even they'll give you 1 land. Let's start with the tapped land. This will give us access to blue real quick. A lot of extra cards and hidden nursery right out the gate. Let's go ahead and do the other tap land to start with, because we can't really put out anything else, but we can hold up the Spell Pierce. And let's try Giant Cindermaw for starters. No life gain for you. Counter deck. This is usually what Arena does to me when they want me to lose. They put me up against a landfall deck, something that adds counters, and then they have something that grants trample. And there you go. That's only good for non-creature spells. So if I swing in for 4, that's not good. That's no longer any good. Let's check and see first. Do we have... We do. We get it. What do I take? 11. I need to do 2 damage. How do I do 2 damage? I need to do a Spell Pierce, right? If I get the Hired Claw... Okay, so let's try it this way. Shoot. Yeah, we do it this way. End the turn. I need them to cast something. Two, three, 4. Okay, no, I can still do this. I can do this this turn, right? 1 point there. I can go straight to their face as well, right? No, that's too much. So 1 point there for 12, 11. Okay. 2 points there. 1 point here. Block it. Thank you. Vivi gives the 1 point. Now you notice it prompted me first for there. That's very important. And by the way, they've got all these landfall counters. They've already got these massive army of creatures coming at me. It's only going to grow. Guaranteed they had a card in here that gave them trample within the next turn or two. And I would love for YouTube, sorry, not YouTube, but for Wizards of the Coast to implement this toggle switch just by our names. You know, so at the end, if I check my box and they check their box, we could go ahead and see what was in our hands. I would love to be able to display that information. But you saw we had the card. The card was going to fizzle because they had 11 life. So it kind of prompted us like when you're trying to cast a counterspell and they have a card that can't be countered. The game machine will actually try and help you out. It didn't used to do this. It was up to the player to spot these things. And so they kind of dumbed it down. And the game engine will detect for you if the enemy is trying to do a spell that can't be countered. And if you play your counterspell, it'll say, you sure you want to do that? Because it's going to fizzle. Can write as well. It detects that the opponent does not have exactly 10 life when you cast your spell. And so the game asks you, are you sure you want to do that? Because the game knows that it's going to fizzle. But we actually have more, a little bit smarter than the game engine, because we know as soon as we cast that spell, before it resolves, Vivi's going to do the 1 point of damage. As a cast spell and win us the match. So I think it's interesting that they tried to dumb down the game to help out neophytes, to help out people that aren't used to playing the game quite as often, that might miss some of those cues that more experienced players are very knowledgeable of. But it actually gives you incorrect prompting, right? I mean, it's technically correct in that when you cast a spell, they're not at exactly 10 life at that point. But you can see, because of how Vivi works and that spell works, that it is absolutely the correct move and that we're going to succeed. And the game engine is not smart enough to recognize that, so it gives you the prompt. Which is probably more a garbage in, garbage out thing. It's the way that the digital designers have coded Arena. They coded it to prompt a novice person, hey, they're not at 10 life. Do you really want to cast this card? But it's not smart enough. They didn't code it to be smart enough to see the actual effects that are going to happen from the current battle state. I don't know if that's something that's significant that they should really fix, that they should try to fix. It's probably a very complicated solution. And we missed a land drop. So, yeah, we probably lost. We missed a land drop against a reanimate deck. And they're going to get to discard, what, a 9-drop or something? We already see they have ways to reanimate. Yeah, Huskburster Swarm. They finally gave us our land. Let's swing in with Screaming Nemesis. If they just have Zombify, they'll get back a 6/6 Menace Death Touch right now. Oh boy. They did their own damage? They're going to go under 10. They probably have a Zombify if they got rid of that. I mean, if I do this, I really can't have them losing 3 life with a Bitter Triumph as an instant. I need them to tap out. I also need a 4th land to get that. And I need Vivi, or I need one other way to get 1 point of damage to them. What did we get rid of? Oh, Arden's in there. Great. Arden gives their stuff lifelink. They're going to pay... No, they discarded. Okay, sweet. One point of damage. Can't gain life. So I don't care what they do to me now. We won. Even if they have Zombify and bring back the card, and they get a 5/5 haster. Is it haste, right? Yeah, Menace, Lifelink, and haste. They're going to do 8 points of damage. Arden does not have haste itself. The Huskburster Swarm now has lifelink. It doesn't matter. Cindermoth stops it. Oh, they've got to be so irritated at that. This is kind of a boring deck to me. They have 4 copies of Zombify. They have 4 copies of Valgavost Faithful. They have the Scry cards to dig. They have the inspiration to mill and dig back. You know, they've got probably 4 copies of Arden. Arden seems to be the new favorite to use with Zombify. I mean, I haven't made a Zombify deck. I've made other decks that reanimate, but I get bored by the creature ones. So what I've been doing in the past is I've made decks that bring back enchantments or artifacts, and I've had more fun with that. I guess that's my next question to you all. Is a Zombify deck, where is it on the rungs of evil? Do you consider it evil at all? If you had to rank on some sort of quantitative gradient, some spectrum of whether that kind of deck strategy is more good in terms of the game or more evil, where would you put that on the spectrum? Look at that. Landfall. I'm so surprised. We missed a land drop? So we've been undefeated now. So what happens when we're undefeated? We miss our land drop and they put us against landfall deck. This is kind of cool. If they use that as a blocker, we may be able to time things in terms of getting them down to the right amount. Let's bring this down first, though. Are they going to block the 3 points of damage? Because that's going to hurt them more. Oh, they are. Oh, don't do that. Okay. Whew. No, they are. They're back. Oh, you can't gain any life now. You're down to 10. No, just 1 point because you did. Okay, it's loot did 1 point. Do I skip the Hitotsugo's right? Do I just go ahead and knock them out the rest of the way instead? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel like maybe we just take them out. They don't even have their landfall creatures and they're burning through their sacrifice lands. What else we got coming up? Yeah, we'll take it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to attack here. Down to 11. I think we're past Hitotsugo's second right. So 4 cards that are going to be useless in our deck now. Still, they're avoiding Screaming Nemesis. It doesn't matter. Why would you avoid Screaming Nemesis now? I've already hit you. You've already got the emblem here on the upper left. Why wouldn't you block the extra point of damage at that point? Useless card. They know it. They know it. Oh, we utterly trounced a landfall deck. Okay. I've just been doing standard. I usually get completely land starved when I do this. We're gonna go into ranked, just because we haven't lost yet. So, did somebody fall asleep at the arena wheel? Where is the team of wizard specialists that normally spy on my play and make sure that I have a lousy experience on their game engine? They didn't even land starve me to start. I got 3 lands instead of 1? I'm being treated decently in ranked? Is there a full eclipse going? What is going on today? Okay, pay 1 life. So this is the land card that can give me trouble with my little strategy here. Can absolutely defeat my win condition unless they've used that land already. Oh, look, lifelink. I'm so surprised. I guess I better take it out while they're tapped, so both white and green have ways to protect their creatures. There's red. And look at that. On-curve legendary creature. And they got 2 of these, which means it's a reanimator deck. Oh, I think we're dead. Alright, let's put this down. Send their Maws around, they can't gain life at least. But how are we going to get past all these white knights when they bring them back? I mean, it's like the deck list is just the same. There's Ultima. No, I'm not going to block that. I want you to not gain life. Let's go see what we've got. Oh, I don't have the right color. Shoot. Let's just swing in and attack. Do I kill this thing? For 5, they can exile it. It's got flying and lifelink. Yeah, let's get rid of it. That's going to be tapped, so I can't pay the kicker cost next turn unless I get an untapped island. They just have a replacement for it. Okay. Another Ultima, another summon Bahumat. Well, this is the first summon Bahumat, but I'm used. These are the 2 cards I'm used to seeing in this deck list for the reanimation. So really, just another reanimated deck list. Okay, so we do. Come here, you. Do that. We'll do this. Can we use consult the star charts to find our win condition before they attack us with an army? They've been hitting their land drops. Okay, 2 damage to each opponent. That's good, because it's not our creatures. They're going to swing in and attack with it, right? No, they don't. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Okay, so what do I do here? I need 2 more points of damage. And Cindermon needs to survive. 2 more points of damage. Okay, so I need Cindermount to survive so that the Phoenix does not get 4 points of life gain on me. Phew! What is this card? They got almost everything they needed. Do they know what's coming? They can stop that with their land, right? They didn't. They could have paid 1 life there. They didn't tap that out. You know how long it's been since I hit platinum? It's been more than a year. That's how long I've ignored. I got an achievement and everything. Rally the monastery! Woohoo! I think that's my 2nd copy of that. We'll hold that up for the newer players. 4 cost instant. The spell costs 2 less to cast if you cast another spell this turn already. You get 1 out of the 3 choices. You get 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. You see pictured to the right. Up to 2 target creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn, or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. I have not used that card yet. All right, we won every battle. Vivi's new, right? And you saw Vivi wasn't needed because Vivi didn't show up for a lot of that. When Vivi showed up, it worked. When Vivi didn't show up, didn't matter. I think you could, if this gets banned, we just take out the 4 copies of the card, right? And we replace it with something else. And just all the rest of the cards could stay the same. I think the framework is just fine. So that's my next question. What would you put in this place? If we lose access to this card, for this deck configuration, what card do you think would be the best substitute? How would we fix the deck to put 4 more cards back in there? That's your homework, everybody. Besides the regular homework of we ask you to like and subscribe. I'm going to end it there. We are undefeated. We even went into ranked. We won in ranked against a life gain deck. I think Arena's using me as an equalizer. I think they meant for that deck to lose because they didn't get the card that allows them to reanimate all those awesome cards from their graveyard. They just filled their graveyard. They were ready. They needed 1 card. They never got it. We got our card. Arena made sure to deal us our win condition. And we were able, it takes a little bit extra managing for this type. You have to slow down. You have to consider what you're doing for your next turn a little bit farther ahead than you normally would, because if you get the tap lands that deal 1 damage to opponent, you play those or hold those. If you're about to win with Hitsugo's second right, if you have Vivi down and there's exactly 10, you can't cast it. It's too late because it's going to do 1 point of damage from Vivi, and then it'll be at 9 and the spell will fizzle. And, you know, this is another way that the game engine technically is incorrect when it tries to advise the newer players. If your opponent is at 10 life and you go to cast it at Tsugo's second right, it won't prompt you to warn you. But that Vivi is going to be, it's going to trigger the Vivi, and you're going to do 1 damage to them. It's going to go to 9. This is going to fizzle, and the game engine only warns you when you go to cast it. The game engine doesn't look ahead to see how your battle state is and how that's the casting itself is going to affect the state on the board. So the game engine's not configured. It's not programmed that way. So there's a couple different ways this card can trip you up, or you can maybe be tripped up by the messaging from the game system if you're not paying close enough attention. So it requires a little bit of expertise to you're going to constantly do the math to figure out how do I get them to 10. But it's good training. I would highly recommend if going down and doing strategic calculations and plotting out your moves, this is a really good deck to train your mind to do that. So yeah, definitely let me know if you take it out for a spin, if you have fun. I would normally be concerned. Sometimes I hold these decks in secret because they perform so well. I don't really want to go into a mirror match against it. But the thing is, we're still under 500 subscribers on this channel. It's just a hobby channel. We're just having fun here. You guys got a front row seat to some neat little secrets. Most other people are not going to see this. Hit it from Foundations, right? Were maybe used what 9 months ago or something. When did its debut? There's already been a round of people showing the card, and then they moved on. They didn't go back to it. So it's kind of like what's old is new again. People are not expecting this in the environment. Normally when I use a card like this that nobody else is using, Arena opens up some new channel and it shows it to me, right? It shows me somebody else trying to use this card against me. And that's not, I don't have any mirror matches yet in the entire using this card. And that's very unusual. Arena's really good. What usually tends to happen when I make a new deck is within cards, and it will completely trounce me as if to message me and say, you don't know what you're doing. This is no, that hasn't happened here. It doesn't matter if you're in standard or in ranked. A lot of the times, but they're not really geared toward 5 years on this channel has been dedicated towards having a long drawn out battle, trying to cast really powerful cards. You can see I don't even have any 5-drops here. We kept it to 4 or less, and because of the way that you're counting on luck and the random generation of lands to help get you if you're going to use more powerful cards. If you keep it to 4 and under, have a nice tight deck, you're going to hit your mana curve a lot. And maybe that's one of the keys to really succeeding in the current modern environment that we're playing in here online. All of these thoughts, if you agree with my thought process, or if you think something else is going on, definitely engage with me if you get a chance. Leave a comment if I've triggered any thoughts for you, or as always, if you just want to alert, go ahead and like. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. We're going to leave it there. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.